Hi, my name is Brian. I'm the Assistant Program Manager for Predictive Services in Boise, Idaho, working out of the National Interagency Fire Center. This is your monthly seasonal fire season outlook as we head into the peak of the western fire season. Looking back at May, conditions across the west were generally wetter and cooler than average as we had several low pressure systems move across the west. Those wet and cool conditions also persisted down to the southwest where fire activity was well below average. Looking nationally, acreage burned year to date is roughly about 1/5 the number of acres that we traditionally burn this time of year. Number of fires, roughly about half. Even up in Alaska, conditions are slower than average. Conditions have been warmer than average, but they've also been getting some precipitation. As we go forward into June, those grasses that we see across the landscape are going to dry and cure out. We have a robust grass crop in place across California and the Great Basin, getting to the Pacific Northwest, and even to parts of the northern Rockies. And we've had some multiple green-ups in some locations. Those grasses will dry and cure out by month's end, and we'll see an increase in fire activity, especially across California and parts of the Great Basin. In the higher terrain, the above average snowpack that we experienced over the winter is still coming off at a slower than average rate and will continue to do so for the next couple of weeks. So we're looking for a little bit of a delayed entry into the fire season in those higher timbered locations. One exception to this will be across the Pacific Northwest, where conditions have been overall warmer and drier than average. So we're looking for more of a traditional entry into their fire season up there, and there is potential for above normal fire activity as well as we move into July and August. Moving forward into the summer months of July and August, when the fire season hits its traditional peaks, we're expecting for it to peak out with a focus of the most intense activity possibly being across California in those middle and lower elevations with those heavy grass crops that are in place, and also across portions of the Pacific Northwest, maybe even nosing into the northern Rockies, into the Idaho Panhandle and the northwest corner of Montana. However, as you go further into the Great Basin, into the central Rockies, and into the southwest, we're expecting more average conditions, except for up in the higher terrain where conditions are expected to be below average this fire season due to the ongoing cooler and wetter type patterns. Also, moving through the core of the fire season, there are chances that we'll receive periodic shots of moisture as systems come in a little bit more frequently in from the Pacific Ocean. While that will bring more lightning activity, there is the chance it could bring a little bit of additional precipitation that we traditionally do not see. One thing that might be of concern is across Arizona, where the monsoon may be slightly delayed and may not arrive until mid to late July in some portions, especially across Arizona, where the monsoon may actually form a little bit further to the east. So Arizona could remain in play as far as fire activity goes well into July, possibly even pushing August. However, as we move into September, weather data suggests that we might have those traditional season-slowing weather events moving into the country from the Pacific Ocean. As those come in during September, typically around mid-September, we should see periodic shots of moisture moving into the Pacific Northwest, northern Rockies, northern California, Great Basin, and also into the southwest and the central Rockies as well.